Hello students, welcome to the class. We are today we are going to study a new topic. We just finished the topic, the chapter 3a, demand analysis. We finished the meaning, definition, demand schedule, market demand, types of demand, and determinants of demand. Now today we are going to study about the law of demand. The law of demand was introduced by Professor Alfred Marshall in his book Principle of Economics, which was published in 1819. The law explains the functional relationship between the price and the quantity demanded. So we studied about the determinants. The last topic which we completed was the determinants of demand. In the first determinants of demand, we studied about price, income, price of the substitutes. Like this, we studied about the somewhat 11 determinants of demand. In the law of demand, we are taking the price. The first determinant of demand, that is price, we are taking, and the quantity demanded. So, in the statement of the law, according to Professor Alfred Marshall, other thing being equal, higher the price of a commodity, smaller is the quantity demanded, and lower the price of the commodity, larger is the quantity demanded. So we can see there is a relation between the price and the quantity demanded. So the definition given, other thing being equal. Which are the other things? Rather than price, whatever determinants we studied, all the things are being equal. It has been constant. And we are taking the price into consideration. Price of the commodity. What happens? Smaller the price, smaller is the quantity demanded. When the higher the price. Higher the price of the commodity, smaller is the quantity demanded, and lower the price of the commodity, larger is the quantity demanded. So there is an inverse relationship between the price and the quantity demanded that we can see in this topic. This can be symbolically represented. Means the functional relationship between demand and price is expressed as, it is given dx is equal to function of px, where d is the demand for the commodity, x is the commodity, f is the function, px price of the commodity. So in the law of demand we study that what the law? The demand is the function of what? Demand is the function of what? Price. That is why in the bracket it is given that px. Got it? So this symbolical representation, the formula you have to keep it in your mind while studying the law of demand. So last chapter also, when we last topic and before the law of diminishing marginal utility, when I taught you, there also we know whenever the law comes, some assumptions come and we have to study the assumptions. So here somewhat 7 assumptions are given. We studied the determinants. The determinants we studied about the, rather than price, many other things were there which determines the demand of a commodity. So taking all other factors means what a price we are taking. We have taken price. In the law of demand, what is given importance? The price is given importance. So the definition is given, other thing being equal, higher the price of a commodity, smaller is the quantity demanded, and lower the price of the commodity, larger is the quantity demanded. Now, assumption means if the law has to be worked out, we have to assume these things other than price should be constant. Which are the things we studied in the determinant? The same points we can take and we can study it. That is why I said you go through the determinants properly. There are 7 assumptions given. Constant level of income, no change in size of population, price of the substitute goods remain constant, price of complementary goods remain constant, no expectations about future change in price, no change in taste, habit, preference, fashion, no change in taxation policy. So these are the other thing being equal. Got it? That we made the, when we make the assumption, the other thing being equal, which are the other things? Only change, price changes. The all other things remain constant. Which are the things? Income. If the law of demand is to find out the true operate, then consumers' income should remain constant. If there is a rise in income, people may demand more. What does the law says? The law says that higher the price, smaller the quantity demanded, and lower the price, larger the quantity demanded. But if there is a change in income, what happens? People demands more. So income should be kept constant. We are keeping the income constant. So you have to explain that in the constant level of income means if the law has to operate, then the income should be kept in constant. It should not be changed. That much enough to write. Next, no change in the size of population. It's assumed that the size of the population remains unchanged. Any change in the size of or composition of the population of the country affects the local demand for the product. So population should remain constant. Third assumption, price of complementary goods remain constant. We explained that price of the substitute, third point, price of the substitute should remain constant. We explained that substitute goods means anything, if it is changing, what happens? There will be a change in demand, we studied. So, but here only the price of the commodity should change, but not the substitute. If the price of the substitute change, what happens? There will be variations in demand. It will not affect the price. So, if the price rise, also people purchase it because the substitutes. So here the assumption is given that price of the substitute goods remain constant. The fourth one, price of complementary goods remain constant. What are complementary goods? Which are demanded together. Joint demand, complementary demand. So price of this complementary goods should become constant. It is assumed that price of the complementary goods remain unchanged because change in the price of one good will affect the demand for other good. So it should be constant. The fifth one, no expectation about the future change in price. It assumes that the consumer do not expect any further change in price in the near future. If the consumer expects a rise in price in the future, they may demand more the price even at existing high price. Because if there is a change, if the consumer expect there will change in price, then it will affect it. Any difficulty? Just open your book, keep it in front of you. The points are given in the textbook. Page number 21, you can just go through it and you can read it. So it is very easy. You study this point. Now, no change in the taste, habits, preference, fashions, etc. This also should be constant. The taste should be not changed. He should be having the same taste if the laws has to operate. Habits should not change. Preference should not change. And even fashion also. So any change in these factors will lead to a change in demand. The law of demand says that only price is changing, the other things remaining constant. No change in taxation policy. The policy of the government that is expected to remain unchanged. That will not change. It will become very true that these 7 points are the assumptions that given in the slides. Just go through it. Constant level of income, no change in the size of population, the price of the substitute goods remain constant, the price of complementary goods remain constant, no expectation about the future change in price, no change in taste, habits, preference, fashion, etc. No change in the taxation policy. These are the points. So in the law of demand, we studied about the introduction, this law was brought about, and the definition, the symbolic expression, etc. In this law, we can see in the slide the demand schedule and the demand curve. What is demand schedule? You have to define it. What is a schedule? Means the schedule is a tabular representation of the price of the commodity and the quantity demanded by the consumer. You can see in the slide the demand schedule, the price of the commodity given and the quantity demanded given. The price, it is 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, and quantity demanded is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now see that if you ignore the 0, what happens? You can see 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and the quantity demanded has an inverse, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in this way also you can represent. No problem. You have to see that when the price decreases, the quantity demanded increases. In the schedule it is shown there. So when you explain the schedule, demand schedule is a tabular form in which the price of the commodity and the quantity demanded is given. In the table, in the schedule, the price when it is 50, the quantity demanded is 1, and the price when fall to 10, the quantity demanded increases to 5. This shows an inverse relation between the price and the quantity demanded. This we explained before also. In the full lesson, the same thing comes. And don't misunderstand that this all things are same. You have to explain in the proper way. In the law of demand, you have to show the schedule, explain the schedule, and draw the diagram accordingly. You can see the demand curve DD is formed. It is sloping downward from left to right, showing that higher the price, lower the quantity demanded, and lower the price, higher the quantity demanded. You can see in the table. While explaining the table, you have to explain that in the figure given, y-axis represent the price and x-axis represent the quantity demanded. When the price is 10, the quantity demanded is 1, and when the price is false, the quantity demanded increases. This shows the price and the quantity demanded having an inverse relation, and the DD curve slopes from left to right, showing that what the change in prices affects the demand. Now, this much. After this, we are going to exceptions to the law. Means the law does not work in this condition. That is mentioned as exception. There are 6 exceptions to the law. First, the Giffen paradox, then prestigious good, speculation, price illusion, ignorance, habitual goods. Now, these are the 6 exceptions of the law of demand. Now, why we study the exception? Because while studying the assumption, we are studying the exceptions also. The exception means the law does not work in this condition. The following exception of the law means it does not work. Now, first point it is, we can see a figure in these exceptions, that is exceptional demand. The demand curve that rise upwards, slopes upwards. Okay, from the original demand curve in the diagram, you can see it slopes downwards from left to right. This from left to right, it slopes upwards, showing that this is exceptional condition of law of demand. In this, price in the y-axis and quantity demanded in the x-axis. But when the price rises, the quantity demanded also rises. When the price falls, the quantity demanded falls. This shows an exceptional case in the law of demand. In which case this shows exception, that is Giffen goods, Giffen paradox. Is a paradox. Contradictory view it is. Contradictory means it states that we studied that price high, quantity demanded less. But here it is contradictory. When price is high, quantity demand is more. What type of goods are that? Giffen goods. Inferior goods or low quality goods are the goods whose demand does not rise even if there is a price fall. Means we studied that price, when the price falls, demand increases. But in the case of the inferior goods, it doesn't happen. In this case, what happens when the price rises, the quantity demanded increases, and the price decreases, means the quantity demand also fall. This was brought by Sir Robert Giffen, observed the behavior of in England in relation to the bread. He noted that when the price of the bread declined, the people did not buy more because an increase in their real income or purchasing power. They prefer to buy superior goods like meat. This is known as Giffen's paradox. Means, let me explain in a proper way this. See, Sir Robert Giffen has observed this. The situation in England when the price of the bread declined. Law of demand states that what? When the price of the goods increases, demand decreases. And the price decreases, demand increases. But the type of inferior goods, it doesn't happen. Now, for example, the bread, 10 rupees, 5 loaves of bread were provided for 10 rupees. But when the price of the person who is having the money, that 15 rupees is spent for the meat which he has to take the bread. Now the price of the bread fall. For 5 rupees he got 5 loaves of bread. Now will he purchase 10 loaves of bread? No. In the condition that Sir Robert Giffen observed is that the consumer consumed only 5 loaves of bread for 5 rupees, and the extra 5 rupees which he was spending for the bread before, what he spent it for meat, because meat is superior to bread. So in this case, the demand curve slopes upwards from left to right, showing that the higher the price, higher the quantity demanded. We all know many times we used to purchase many goods which the price is high, thinking that these are the nice product. So this is an illusion that we will study the exception. The first exception, what you have to write, Giffen goods. Giffen goods means inferior goods. This was bought by Sir Robert Giffen. So after his name, this goods as mentioned as inferior goods as mentioned as Giffen goods. Second, it is prestigious good. Prestigious good means what it is? Expensive goods like diamond, gold, etc. This shows the status. So rich people purchase it. Why they purchase? Because they want to show the status. So in this case, does the law of demand work? No. It is the exception of the law of demand. Why? Because when the things, higher priced goods are said to be the status for the people, the rich people. So they shows by purchasing their status, by purchasing too much costly goods. That in this case, the law of demand is not working. So the cases which the law of demand doesn't work is that first one, Giffen's paradox, second, prestigious good. Now third, it is speculation. Speculation means the law of demand holds that when the people expects price to rise still further in the future, means they purchase the thing. They maybe have an illusion, means thought that the particular thing's price will rise after some period of time. So we have to purchase and keep it now. Now did the price fall? No. The price didn't fall, but the person is purchasing the thing. Why? Because he is thinking that after 1 week or 1 month or 6 months, the price of the particular commodity will rise. There is a chances to rise. The price will become double. So we have to purchase and keep it. So in this condition, even the price is high, the people demands more. This is the exception of the law of demand. Now price illusion. Price illusion means consumers have an illusion that high price goods are of better quality. Therefore, the demand for such goods tends to increase with a rise in price. For example, it is given branded products which are expensive, demand even it is higher price. If you go to the shop, if you have got nice money, if you got 500 only, you will purchase the things which comes under 500. But that assume that you got much money in your hand to purchase. So what you do, you will go and purchase the branded thing. No, I will not purchase the. So this is to show that I am purchasing a goods which. So the price illusion comes under that. The things, the illusion is that what, when price is high, there is a status, or the quality of goods is nice. The quality is good. The good quality goods we will purchase for the higher price. So this illusion is there. So people purchase it even if there is higher price. They don't go for the law of demand. Next one it is ignorance. Ignorance of what? They are ignorant about the market conditions or the commodity or about the price. What happened when the consumers means they are ignorant about the price of that commodity or at other places. They may be thinking that this commodity, they don't know. They don't know this commodity will be at less price in some other places. Example, it happens when we go to purchase some things, when 2 or 3 friends goes that, you got it for less price? I was not knowing. Where you got it? Please search it. Okay. So in this condition, we were not aware about that this product is means distributed or purchased for less price also some other places, and some this due to this people will purchase even the price is high, people will purchase the things. Next, which is habitual goods. Habitual goods means which are the habitual goods? Means the habitual goods are the goods which the people have the habit. Means tea, coffee, or many other things are there that habituated. Means they got the habit of using it. Thus, this is the exceptional case. So when you write the law of demand, students, just see that first you have to write the introduction. This law was put forward by what? Then write the definition. After the definition, you have to see the symbolic expression is there. Then the demand schedule and demand curve. Assumption is there. Before that, assume. You have to assume everything should be constant rather than price. Then we studied about the law of demand schedule curve, then exceptions of the law of demand. There are 6 exceptions. So just go through it. Now we have other topic in the same chapter. It is the variation in demand. Now see that what is variation in demand. When the demand for a commodity falls and or rise due to the change in the price alone and other factors remain constant, it is called variation in demand. What you have studied in the, when the demand for a commodity rise or falls due to what? Change in price alone. No other thing is affected. We are studying variations in demand. The topic is variation in demand. The variation in demand, the demand for the commodity falls. Falls means decreases or rises. Rises means increases. Why? Due to the change in the price alone, no other factors. So, variations in demand, when you study, you keep in your mind the price alone, change in the price alone. Other things we are not taking into consideration. So, there are 2 types of variations in demand. First is expansion of demand and the other is contraction of demand. So, variation in demand has having 2 parts. That is, first is expansion. Expansion means expanding. We will not say it increase. Why we are not saying? Till now we said that increase in demand, decrease in demand. But in this case, we don't say the increase in demand. It is expanding. The demand is expanding. Now, how it is? How can consider it? You can see that expansion of demand refers to the rise in quantity demanded due to the fall in price. Expand when it expands, when the price falls. Price कम जब हो रहे तब क्वांटिटी डिमांड इंक्रीज होता, मीन्स इंक्रीज नहीं बोलते इसमें, expand बोलते, expand हो जाते. So you can see that expansion of demand refers to the rise in quantity demanded due to the fall in price alone, while other factors like taste, habits, income of the consumer, size of the population, etc. remain unchanged. Now in this condition, you can see a demand curve there. Demand curve moves in downward direction on the same demand curve. You can see an arrow, DD. an arrow is given downwards showing the expansion. The price, when the price was OP, the quantity demanded was OQ. But when the price falls from P to P1, the quantity demanded increase from Q to Q1. This shows an expansion of demand curve. An expansion of demand curve is depicted on the same demand curve by showing an arrow to the downward position. So it represents that the demand is expanding. And the price fall, the demand is expanding. So this you have to explain. While writing this expanding, you have to write the definition, the demand curve, and the explanation of the diagram. Next is contraction, the opposite of expansion, contracting, becoming less. Contraction of demand refers to the fall in price due to the rise in demand due to the rise in price. So the contraction of demand refers to what? Fall in demand due to the rise in price. Other factors like income, taste, of the consumer, size of the population, etc. remain unchanged. Demand curve moves upward direction on the same demand curve. The upward, one arrow is shown and you can just see that the arrow is moving upward on the same demand curve showing the contraction of demand. When the price moved from P to P1, the quantity demanded also reduced or become less from moved from Q to Q1. That shows and with the help of an arrow. Next, it is change in demand. The last topic of the lesson, that is the change in demand. Change in demand for a commodity is increase or decrease due to the change in other factors and the price remain constant. So now see that in the variations in demand, we studied that change in price is happening, but in change in demand, what happens? Price is remaining constant and other factors, it may be income, it may be taste, it may be fashions and many other things changes. So it is mentioned as changes in demand. Now students may be thinking that change in demand, expansion in demand, contraction in demand, this also is confusion. So just note it that while variation in demand, the expansion and contraction, the price changes and the changes in demand, increase and decrease in demand, other factors than price changes. It refers to the increase in quantity demanded due to the favorable changes in other factors like taste, income of the consumer, climatic conditions, etc. and price remaining the constant. Demand curve shifts to the right side of the original demand curve. It shifts to the right side of the demand curve. When does it shift? When there is an increase in demand, the demand curve shift forwards. Shift right. You can see DD is the demand curve, D dash or D1, that is the new demand curve. It shifted to right. An arrow is shown that between the Q and Q1 you can see an arrow. So while explaining the diagram, the same thing you have to learn to explain the diagram. That is very essential in economics. Y-axis price is given, x-axis quantity demanded is given, DD is the original demand curve. When the price means rather than price, the thing changes, the demand curve shift, price remaining constant, the price is OP only and the demand curve shift to forward, that is it shift to the right side again and showing that other factors, because of the other factors there is a rise in demand. Next is decrease in demand, same opposite of the increase in demand. It refers to the decrease in quantity demanded due to the unfavorable changes in the factors like taste, income of the consumer, climatic condition, etc. and price remaining the constant. The demand curve shifts to left hand side of the original demand curve. DD is the original demand curve and it has shifted to left hand side. We can say backward shifting of demand curve. An arrow is shown to make you clear that what is the shifting of the demand curve. So this two topic, this law of demand can come from the brief answer question. Then short notes, it may be come for this changes, variations in demand. So just go through the topic properly. Next lesson 3B, elasticity of demand, I will teaching you very soon. So these three lessons we have completed, lesson 1, lesson 2 and lesson 3. Based on the lessons we will discuss it afterwards. So students, go through and study properly, difficulties will be solved afterwards. Thank you.